We're going to show you how to use CASE-FO41 from Remotes Unlimited to replace the case of your old Ford 4-button remote. Before starting, we recommend you do a few things. First, look at the back of your original remote. There's an FCC ID embossed on the back on most remotes. The insert card within the package will tell you that this replacement case will only fit original Ford 4-button remote transmitters with an FCC ID starting with the letters CWT. There is an identical looking Ford remote that has an FCC ID starting with GQ4. CASE-FO41 does not fit the circuit board with that FCC ID. If you try to force the case to fit a remote starting with FCC ID GQ4, you might break the case or the circuit board, so please do not even try. If your original remote has an FCC ID starting with GQ4, just return the replacement case package for refund without opening it. It's also possible your original remote has no FCC ID on the back. If so, it is probably an aftermarket replacement transmitter. These products vary. CASE-FO41 will fit some of these aftermarket transmitters, but will not fit all. Again, our suggestion is that you return the package rather than risk breaking the case or your circuit board. Next, you'll need to find a coin that will help you open the cases on these remotes. A penny or a dime usually work well for the Ford remotes. If your hands are dirty, you should wash them before starting so that you don't transfer oil to the battery or circuit board. Also, if your old remote is gritty or dirty, you should wipe it off with a damp cloth to remove that so you don't transfer that to the inside of the new remote. Let's start by opening the contents of this package. The remote is attached to the insert card with fugitive glue in most cases. You can take the fugitive glue off of the remote just by rubbing it with your finger. Check the new battery to make sure it is a CR2032 battery. Any other button battery will not work with this Ford remote. Now separate the halves of the new remote by placing the dime or the penny in between the slot at the bottom of the remote and then prying gently until it opens. You can also remove the new button pad from inside the remote. If you've not already done so, read the step-by-step instructions and other information on the insert card. Note that the only thing you will need to transfer in this process from the old remote to the new remote is the circuit board itself. Now carefully separate the halves of your old remote, again by placing a dime, or you can use a narrow screwdriver in between and prying carefully. If there's a key ring attached, you do not need to take that off because the remote should still open. When you have it open, note the orientation of things within the remote. The battery contacts are toward the bottom of the remote. Now pull out the circuit board by grabbing the button pad from the side and lifting up. If for any reason it sticks, you can press on the buttons from the front and push through that way. Now separate the circuit board from the button pad. When you do this, always try and hold the circuit board by the edges so as not to get any dirt on the components themselves. You'll see the top of the circuit board has 4 buttons and components, and on the back, again, the battery contacts are at the bottom. Now take the circuit board and place it inside the new button pad. Like that. Now place the circuit board button pad combination inside the front of the new remote. When positioned correctly, the button pad will sit on the edge of the front of the new case uniformly, and the buttons will protrude through the holes. Now take the new battery and place it with the plus side facing down into the case in the back of the new case. When you've done that, simply turn the front over the back, lining it up carefully, making sure that the button pads come through the hole. And when you've done that, you can just press on it and you should hear a snap to indicate that it's closed tightly all the way around. And there you have your replacement case.